I've just been talking away to myself, obviously, so at least I've practiced. I hope you can all hear me. Right, mental health and food, the importance of it. Why is it important? It affects 1 in 4 people, and I think after COVID, it's going to be affecting probably 1 in 3 or 1 in 2. We can do so much more with our mental health if we eat well. We don't have to rely fully on mental health teams, doctors, nurses, hospitals, that sort of thing. I think eating well is so important, and it's something that we can do for ourselves. It just sort of makes so much sense to eat well. And I really, really hope that you can take something back after this. So I created this presentation. I hope you can see it, guys. I'm just going to move my, can you see it there? No, maybe not, hey. But anyway, I'll post it afterwards on the page. So healthy food benefits our health and well-being. I'm just going to sort of like read it to you, and if you want to add questions and things, just please do. And it's just really, really important to get the balance between sort of nutrients and physical and mental well-being. Our brains are affected by, so much. Mental health affects the brain and our body as well, physically. But I think a lot of people don't really put the two together. It's so important to listen to our body and to avoid too much processed food, as we all know it's not good for us to have too much. And I'm not saying don't have it at all. You enjoy your burgers and your chips and whatever else you want to have from the takeaway occasionally. Go and enjoy it, but just don't have too much of it. We are what we eat, and we are no different to the plants and the trees and all the other greenery outside. We're made of the same stuff. And by eating well, most of the time, we can really, really help ourselves. And by eating food with nutrients and vitamins, we're nourishing our bodies and our minds as well. Protecting our mental health is about good diet as well as talking and relaxation. If we eat healthily, 80% of the time we can begin to feel better. By taking in nutrients, we can defend our immune system. And immunity is one thing that's really, really important, because as we've just come out of lockdown, we're coming out of lockdown rather, have to correct myself there. It's really important to keep our immune systems up. And the reason being that is because if we have a healthy immune system, then we can fight off infections more. And by eating nutrients and antioxidants, we are winning on that front. If we eat a rainbow of veg, we're having different colours, and the different colours mean different nutrients. So things like selenium, things like bioflavonoids, all of those things, they're all really, really good for us. Really beneficial and really good for our health, mental health as well. But if we feel good, then our brains feel good, our minds feel good. And our brains need food like our bodies too. I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned them, but things like omega-3 and 6 or essential fatty acids. So they're really good fats that are not only good for our cholesterol level and our arteries and things, but they're really good for the brain. They help to protect the myelin sheath, which are in the neurons in the brain. And this is something that is really, really great if you are feeling, depressed. Sometimes with depression, anxiety, other mental illnesses, we don't want to eat, but it's really important that we do try to eat, because food is fuel as well as vitamins and minerals. By eating the good fats, it protects the neurons, and it makes us more robust, from shocks. So mental health can affect everyone. I mentioned earlier it was 1 in 4. But I really do think that after COVID, it's going to be much more. I work for a local mental health team for the NHS, and we've had a shock of referrals coming in. And I think it's just, it's also to do with loneliness and being locked down and not really having so much, so much contact with people as well. Being around people is really, really good for our mental health, as well as exercise and the healthy lifestyle. Nature, all of that is great for us too. It's not just about food. So if you mind what you eat, you can really help your mind as well as your body. Do you eat what's right for your body and mind? I suppose some of us do, some of us don't. Some of us do half the time. It makes massive sense, doesn't it? Food is as important as anything else that we do. And this is what I call real food. And people laugh when when I say this. Real food, as in vegetables, you know, good healthy meats, grains that aren't refined, that spike our blood sugar. So another major thing is not having too much sugar. Having too much sugar can create inflammation in the body, which causes pain, it causes discomfort, it stops us sleeping. It can be a cause for a lot of autoimmune conditions. But when I mean sugar, I'm talking sort of refined carbohydrates, not the stuff that you put in your tea and your coffee. We can help ourselves by making our choices in what we eat. So I'm just going to look at some nutrients. So can you see that there? Folic acid is a really, really good one. And I think a lot of us lack folic acid. And I know when women are pregnant, they're encouraged to eat folic acid because the body, when it's pregnant, in a female body, it sort of goes towards looking after the baby. And if we increase our folic acid, we have a massive, massive chance of feeling better physically and mentally. So there are loads of foods there that you can eat with folic, you know, to get your folic acid from, and it's great for anxiety. So spinach, lettuce, asparagus, beetroots, to name a few, you know, peanuts, sesame seeds, hazelnuts. I'll share these after. Eat real foods over processed foods most of the time. And then magnesium. Magnesium's a massive, massive nutrient that gets overlooked, I think. It's good for insomnia, anxiety, and depression. If you find you can't sleep very well for whatever reason, get some of these foods into your system. You know, spinach, watercress, avocado, green cabbage, Brazil nuts, cashews, peanuts, oatmeal bran, long grain rice, buckwheat, natural yogurt. All of these foods are so accessible. How can we protect our mental health? Well, a balanced diet, rainbow foods, so lots of different coloured veg, some good quality protein, keep the sugar down, and make sure that you cook your food and you enjoy it. Make it a ritual. It's really important. So just a few more nutrient lists. Vitamin B3, B6 and C are great for depression and stress. And vitamin Bs are obviously a really good one for the brain. And again, you know, you've got brown rice, rice bran, wheat germ, beef kidneys, pork, turkey, chicken, brown rice, oats, barley for the B6, and turkey, which doesn't just have to be eaten at Christmas. And then for the vitamin C, which we need to absorb a lot of foods and we don't maintain in our bodies, is red peppers. That's the best source of vitamin C. Red cabbage, broccoli, and it also is also good for wound healing and just protecting the body overall. Vitamin C, and as much fruit as you can. So these are the really special antioxidants, as I mentioned. Selenium, zinc, and omega-3 are good for depression, but also good for boosting immunity. It all works together. But some foods there are just amazing. Selenium is one really good one, and a really good source of selenium is Brazil nuts. If you have a couple of Brazil nuts a day, that is a great amount of selenium, and you find selenium in many, many foods. So wheat germ, brewer's yeast, Brazil nuts, tofu, barley, rye, oats, mozzarella cheese, and sunflower seeds, to name a few. Green foods. I didn't mention green foods. I wanted to mention green foods. So the great thing about green foods is it's, has anyone heard of alkaline? The alkaline acid balance. So the outside of our bodies should be acid to protect the inside. The inside should be alkaline, and when your body's alkaline, you have a greater way of fighting disease. So it's really, really just great thing to eat lots of green veg, and I mean all green veg. You know, broccoli, cabbage, spinach, avocados, and they're also really good for omega-3 and 6 as well. And it's just, you know, just a major importance. Vitamin B12 and zinc. Dark chocolate has a really good source of zinc. So, you know, have a couple of squares of dark chocolate a day and just enjoy your food. But green veg is also full of chlorophyll. That's what makes it that dark green color. And it helps with cell rejuvenation as well. So all you biologists out there, cell rejuvenation, osmosis, that sort of thing, you'll know, and it can help us it can prevent us from getting inflammation in our bodies, and that way we don't get ill. So if we eat the right foods, we really do help our immunity, and also just generally high in essential vitamins and minerals. Now, I mentioned refined carbohydrates, so a really good thing to think about is enjoy your cakes, enjoy your biscuits, enjoy anything sort of wheat based, but think about the grains that you eat. Brown rice, quinoa, millet, rye, buckwheat groats, that sort of thing. Try them instead of having the usual sort of white pasta, white rice. And I know that we love bread, but too much bread and too much white bread is going to affect our sugar levels, insulin thing. So go out there, enjoy different types of grains. Just make a choice, go for it, take a risk, enjoy it, and the more you try something, the better you'll enjoy the taste. So brown rice is high in fiber and ideal for slow release for insulin. Quinoa is high in protein. I discovered quinoa about 20 years ago and I've never looked back. And a lot of people are sort of a bit worried about cooking things like this, but I just say just give it a try, because it can really, really expand your food taste. The more varied your diet, the healthier you will be. So that's the presentation gone. I was talking a little bit about well-being, and I wrote 2 books last year. The first one is this food thing, and it's just full of different recipes that I just created from an ebook. That was just all my recipes from my website that was put into an ebook and then went to print. And then I was approached by publishers and I wrote this book, which is really quite special to me. It is I think it's 25 recipes, mostly vegetarian. Some are sweet, but there are just some different recipes in there. And it basically, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got like a notification about the different nutrients in there and the different foods and what they're good for. And also it's got some self-help bits on mental health, mental well-being. So it's got the A to Z of mental well-being. It's got what does well-being mean to you, and it's got some well-being interventions as well. So I was really proud of this book, and it's available on Amazon and Waterstones and Blackwell's. And spent some time writing a book recently on desserts. So using sugar substitutes, making food making sweets a bit different and a bit more enjoyable, because I just do find that sometimes with sweet stuff, it's just too sweet. And if it's too sweet, it takes the taste away from the ingredients. So for example, if you cook with chocolate, dark chocolate, which doesn't have so much sugar in, or so much sort of the creaminess of milk chocolate, it just really, really helps, I think, to sort of taste the food. So the book, which is coming out hopefully next week, it's at the printers at the moment, is called This Sweet Thing. And I've spent quite a bit of time researching sugar and finally created this book. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm doing some nutrition work for a couple of charities. It's taken me a long time to get here. I've worked for a few years as a wellbeing and complementary therapist doing massage and reflexology, and I worked in drug and alcohol services for almost 10 years. But I think it's just about balance, isn't it? And I think also if you're just surviving in life, then food isn't such a problem. Food isn't such an issue for you. It's about, you know, coming to your journey, making sure that you educate yourself on certain things and trying different recipes in cooking. And I think with recipes, it's about trial and error. Try not to be too worried about making screwing up a recipe. Just go for it, and knowing where to buy your foods and where to, go to your market, support your local market, support your local farm shop if you can, or just your local grocery store, because supermarkets, although they're great, they are taking over the world, as I put it. But you know, you go where you can, I suppose, if you're in a more urban area. But also, I think the importance of mental health and food is it's about the ritual, I think, as well, of cooking. You know, if you're cooking with someone, if you're making a meal with someone, it can be really, really fun. It can be really just an amazing experience. You know, plan your meal, one of you do a starter, one of you do a main course, cook together. I think it's great that you can just do that together. It's really, really important to you know, plan that, and it's all part of the well-being movement as well. You know, recovery is a massive, massive thing for many people recovering from mental illness, or whether it's substance misuse, or whether it's an illness like something like cancer, which can cause, you know, mental health as well. I think we all have a dull moment in our time, and we all have a dip, and we all have dark times in our lives. So food can be, you know, a great, great, great way to enjoy it. And I'm a firm believer in, you know, eat to live. You don't have to live to eat, but do enjoy your food and your moments where you can enjoy that. Yeah. So what else are we talking about today? Mental health. I've been working in mental health for about 15 years, and I used to run a cafe for the charity Mind in Oxfordshire, which was based in a town called Tame, which is near Aylesbury. So myself and colleagues, we used to run this cafe together, and we used to cook vegetarian, healthy food for the locals. It was open to the public as well, and it was a great experience, a great collaboration. It wasn't just about the food, it was just everything, you know, preparing the food, serving the food, getting the service users to gain confidence after having a long bout of mental illness. And it was such a great pleasure. Really, really loved it. And then I worked for Restore, which is a charity in Oxford. They had a cafe, still have a cafe, and I ran that for a while on Saturdays, which was really enjoyable, and lovely garden to sit in. We used to create recipes, pick veg from the garden there, and yeah, just really, really loved it. So yeah, can't really can't really fault food. I grew up in an Italian family, so food was there all the time, and yeah, yeah. So I think Ezra is talking next. Ezra Hewing, he's from Mind in Suffolk, which is great. Mind is a dear charity to me, means a lot to me, and they do so much good. And Mind in Oxfordshire is still running. I've been working closely with some Mind people in Oxfordshire on the phone lines that were set up during the COVID lockdown, and it's changed a lot since I was there back in 2006. But yeah, hugely enjoying it. Hugely enjoying working with them in mental health. Oxfordshire is quite big on mental health. There's quite a lot going on. There is a lot of mental health for whatever reason, but there's some good treatments here, some good hospitals, and some good mental health teams. And I'm proud to be a part of the South Oxfordshire mental health team. Really, really enjoy that part of my work, and doing nutrition works well with it. I would also say share recipes. I'm going to post some recipes on the Mind Festival website, but you can also find some on my website too, so I'll share them, and there are some from the books as well. So yeah, what have we got here? We've got some good comments here. Who's eating too much bread? Lewis, you're eating too much bread. I think maybe you could make your own. And who else is talking? Oh, not too many comments, but yeah, it's good. It's just been a really, really good opportunity to do this. Thank you, Samira. Thanks for the vote of confidence and let me do this. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I had a few problems on the beginning there. I was talking to myself, but I wasn't live. This is all a bit it's all a bit new to me, but I know what to expect now, and I hope to do more of these. I'm here tomorrow doing a recipe. I won't tell you what the recipe is, but it's a really easy recipe. It's a sweet recipe. It's not in the book though, which is a bit of a pain, but never mind. But hopefully you'll be able to follow it, because I'll post the recipe afterwards. Yeah. And yeah, I just hope that you enjoy the festival. There's more to come later on. There's more to come tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow at 2:30 cooking baking. I'll be baking. So I will have to be prepared and do the here's one I made earlier, like they do on Blue Peter. And I really hope that you enjoy the rest of the program. Any more comments here? No. They've probably all gone. So what are you having for your dinner this evening? I'm going to a friend's house for dinner this evening, but I'm sure she'll be cooking something something vegetarian, something healthy. I've made a dessert, or part of a dessert. I made a fruit compote this morning with lots of fruit that I had left over. Do try and use up your food. Try not to waste your food. Food waste is a massive problem in this country, and people are going to food banks and having to take food from there, which is great. But I think the great thing is that food banks do get stocked up really easily, and there are lots of people in Oxfordshire that are doing stuff with food banks, food with food banks, and it's a great cause. There was a charity, there was a movement that I worked with once or twice called the what was it called? The Oxford Surplus Food Company, and they used to take loads of food from the food bank, open up a kitchen in a community centre and cook for the public, and then the public would come in, and it was always really healthy, always vegetarian. I know vegetarians not overly looked on with people, but yeah, it was a good experience. It was a great experience, and I hope that we will be doing more of them. So thanks everyone. Do ask questions, do post me a message on Facebook if you need to know any information. The books are available on Amazon and Blackwell's or Waterstones online. It's called This Wellbeing Thing, and yeah, it's already in online if you do manage to get it. So cool. Thanks guys, see you all soon.